Have you ever heard yourself that my gut isn't liking it or I'm not getting a good vibe? Think about that for a moment. How often have you felt something deep inside, a gut feeling, an inner knowing, but brush it aside in favor of logic? What if that was your intuition, your greatest untapped power? There's a famous story about Albert Einstein, one of the greatest minds of our time. He was once asked about the role of intuition in his discoveries. Yes, listeners, it's that important that even Albert Einstein relied on his intuition. And you know what he said? The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. And we have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. Welcome back to another episode of We Are Listening, a space where we bridge the gap between wellness seekers and providers. I'm your host, Pulkit Garg, and today we are diving deep into the world of intuition, the tool that we all possess but rarely seem to be using it or planning to master it. And who better to explore this than our incredible guest, Jael Ortega? Jael is a holistic life coach, conscious leadership catalyst, and intuitive consultant, guiding executives, creatives, and professionals towards a soul aligned life. Welcome, Jael, to the show.
Hello, Pulkit. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Same here, same here. Honor is all mine. Intuition is something that I really align with. And the moment, Basanti introduced us, I was really looking forward to this episode to talk about intuition and learn more about it. How can somebody strengthen it? How can somebody, discover his or her own intuition? I have so many questions planned for you. I'll just hold on to my horses for a while and give you the opportunity to, introduce yourself to our listeners and a message you have before we start.
Okay, well, thank you so much, first and foremost, Pulkit, for planning this so beautiful session. I love it. I am so excited about the time that we're going to spend today because I am here to serve. I'm here to serve humanity, and I'm doing it from the heart. As you said very well, I am an intuitive consultant, energy healer, and conscious leadership catalyst. And my message is a message of empowerment, a message of love, a message of embracing our intuition and our powers and mastering them. So yeah, that's all I could say for now. I think we're going to have fun today.
Oh, totally, totally. And I'm really, really, hooked on to the ride we're going to have today. So looking forward to it. So Giles, to start with, why don't you help us understand what exactly is intuition? We all have been there where have said that I'm not feeling it like it today. My gut isn't aligned. I'm getting that, inner feeling that something is not right. What is all of this? What is intuition exactly?
Intuition could mean many things for different people, different cultures, right? Yes, we are all different. But when we open our hearts, when we ground ourselves, intuition is that master tool that is guiding us, that is our soul compass, that master tool that help us to connect with ourselves, connect with our purpose, connect with the earth, and serve from the heart. No matter if you're a doctor, a physician, a lawyer, a politician, a bus driver, anyone is serving everybody all the time. So for me, intuition is that master tool that first and foremost connect us with ourselves, the universe, and the earth is our soul compass.
Well, that's very easy way of putting it. But just help me understand. How can somebody really identify that they are being intuitive? It's their intuition calling out to them. How can somebody really identify that?
So first and foremost, I would love to state that we are all born with intuition. Intuition is something that we have. It's just like breathing. You never stop being intuitive. What you could do is ignore it or don't value that. You might have a gut feeling and you might say, I'm not sure if I want to follow this. And then when something happens, there's a lot of regret, there's a lot of shame that comes with that because somewhere inside you knew that that was not the best option. But when you honor that gut feeling, when you honor that you feel that something's happening and just feel curious about it, you don't have to, you're not in a position yet to honor that, but if you just follow that gut feeling and become curious and then follow the next one and then the next one, you realize that that is a muscle, an energetic muscle that perhaps you have not exercised, but it's yours and that you could use it for your benefit.
Wow. Wow. But yeah, let me understand. A lot of times we derive our decisions even from the fear as well. We
Yes.
have a lot of experiences which restrict us from taking any step or becoming curious about that. Now, how do I differentiate between it's my gut calling to me, or it's a fear that's stopping me to do something that my gut wants me to do?
Okay, so first and foremost, we go back to the center. So during this session, we will go back to the center at all times. So your soul compass will be your intuition. And in order to access to this divine master tool, it's essential that we ground ourselves at all times. So the first thing that I show to my clients when they come is how to ground themselves. This is really key. This is important because when you're grounded, you have the ability to bring in clarity to your life. If you have clarity, then immediately you get the confidence, you start to trust in yourself, right? But if you don't have that clarity, then you might be doubting, second guessing all the time. So intuition is a master tool that works when you learn how to ground yourself, how to anchor yourself to the earth, and from there you can take it.
Amazing. Are there any steps that you can share with our listeners through which they can ground themselves and get that clarity?
Yes. The first one that we could do is, for example, in a meditation. Let's say the first thing in the morning, when you wake up, you could just connect with yourself and your solar plexus or even your heart. I would say your heart is the master tool here as well. So connect with your heart, and from your heart, your solar plexus, and from your solar plexus, go all the way down and then connect with your feet. And from your feet, imagine that you grow roots that go right to the very center of the earth. And this is a beautiful thing because you see, at the very center of the earth, we're always welcome. That is our original state of calmness and beauty and excitement. And if you anchor yourself there, you can even imagine that you've got there some kind of a room, a sacred ancient cave full of ancient knowledge for you. And anchor yourself there. Just have this intention to anchor yourself and slowly come back up to the heart. Opening your heart will give you a greater access to your intuition and calm the solar plexus, especially in those days when anxiety is kicking in, right? Yes, that would be my first exercise.
Amazing, amazing. You mentioned about solar plexus, Jael. So, how are chakras and intuition related? Because I've heard a lot of, instances when chakra meditation has been one of the ways to strengthen your intuition, to strengthen your gut power. So, if you can shed some light on that.
Yes. So, for example, let's say, so we will go to the center during this session, and at the same time, we will always talk about the inner child. The inner child, it resides directly in our heart and has control over our nervous system. So, in my study, in my research as an intuitive consultant, this is what I've discovered that many clients, including myself, have as a normal condition after living on this planet for many years. We disconnect from our intuition because of perhaps there was some kind of a trauma in the past, or perhaps because we've been hiding something, right? Because it's not safe to tell the world that we are intuitive, right? Or that we are ready to embrace this power, right? because
Yep.
perhaps not many people want it. Or let's say a child knew that someone was going to pass away when they were little, and indeed that person passed away, and they felt guilty or even responsible for that because they didn't have the tools to assimilate what was actually happening to them. So it's very important to understand when something happens in childhood, right? The inner child will try to take you back to that spot, to that point again, and will try to make you heal that moment when you first closed your heart or even your solar plexus. So you're no longer aligned, you're no longer open to life. Some people, for example, they say, I want clients in my life, but I'm not able to attract enough clients, right? That is the heart that is closed because of fear, right? So one of the first things to do is to really open your heart, put a lot of beautiful pink light, anchor yourself to the planet, to the center of the earth, and start to bring the light. Be and feel safe. When the chakras, I wouldn't say they close or block themselves, but there's an element of fear in them. So to clear them, you've got to feel safe. You've got to feel safe at home. You've got to feel safe in your own body. So you could bring the light. So exercise, cleansing, amplifying all your chakras regularly so that when fear comes, you're no longer second guessing yourself, but you understanding and you are embracing your inner child, right? You're embracing that ancient wisdom in you, and gently you bring yourself to this adult consciousness to bring all the light in you again.
Amazing. Jan, help me understand one thing. We are living in an era where everybody's just rushing after things. They're just rushing for instant gratification out there. We are surrounded by mobile apps that provide us that instant gratification. Be it dating apps, we just swipe up, we have a new profile. Be it Instagram or Facebook, we swipe right or left, we have a new post to look at. Now, comparing it to the real life, moving out of that small mobile device we have in our hand.
Yes, yes.
In real life, things take time to nurture. The universe is at work. We are, leaving our thoughts, our aspirations to the universe, and the universe is working towards helping us manifest it. Where does intuition fall in all this puzzles that we have surrounding ourselves?
Okay, so first and foremost, it's important to understand that we are going through unprecedented times now as a collective, right? So we are moving from a very control society to starting to discover, to starting to awaken into our own power. And as I said before, intuition is the compass for that power, for our life itself, right? It's really something that's going to transform your life if you start to exercise it, right? So the way that humanity has been controlled is by given different ways to behave, different ways to think, and also um, it's not that people don't want to move away from the laptop. It's not that people don't want to move away from the technical equipment, but it's more like it has made things in a way easier for us. But we all crave in our hearts this human touch, right? We all crave community. We all want to be part of something that's bigger than us. So yes, indeed, it doesn't matter how many laptops you've got at home. At some point, we all feel like we want to go out, we want to meet people. So I would say intuition is that part that will never die, is that part full of light that is burning inside us because we're a divine light, and intuition never gets diminished. If anything, it could be paused for a moment, not really, but it comes back stronger, always showing us the path to reconnect to our soul. Yes.
Well, you talked about people second guessing themselves because of the different traumas and life experiences that happen with them. I would like to talk about a very specific set of people out there, the change makers, the entrepreneurs, people
Yes.
who decide to trot the path that has not been walked on. Now, for them, life is filled with failures. I will not say failures, but different experiences that help them evolve. But these experiences often leave a scar on them that makes them to second guess themselves at a lot of times. One is the experience speaking that, okay, you know what not to do, but at times that what not to do translates into not to do. They're not doing things because
Yes.
they're afraid
Yes.
of, just getting that same experience again.
Yeah.
And with a lot of noise coming in from the surrounding as well, it's not just on their own experiences, but with the so-called people who care for their inner circle, often just pushing them down. How can at that point the entrepreneurs, the change makers, really bring back that power of intuition and start trotting that path again?
Okay. So, as I said from the beginning of this session, I think that was an intuitive insight for the whole, road of this beautiful session. So, we will go always back to the center. It is the role of our family members to worry for us. It is their role to take care and protect us. It is their role to see the stones ahead, the dangers ahead. It is their role. They are not going to change. But you could find a way to react to whatever life is throwing at you, whether that is in the form of what might seem a failure in your business or trying to create a business, right? Or you following someone's insight instead of your own gut feeling, your intuition, right? So we go back again to the center. The most important thing here is always to ground yourself, because that way you create this undeniable connection with you, with your gut feeling, with your intuition, with the center of the earth. And you have all this great support around you. Because, if you are someone that believes in angels or spirit guides, right? Or just simply the energy that's mentoring you, the energy that's helping you to achieve your dreams in life, right? So when you're grounded, this life compass, your soul is your life compass, right? This compass will show you, will guide you to where you need to go. And yes, of course, I would say, for example, with my family, there are things that I tell them and there are things that I choose not to tell them. And not because I don't want to be clear and not because I don't want to share my life, with them, but it's more like there are things that I know they can help me as a grown up, right? As a mature woman, as a grown up, they will be there for me to help and guide me. But there are other things that I know that it is important that I honor my gut feeling, right? So I don't share with them because I don't want to give them that extra worry. They've got plenty in their lives. So sometimes our inner child tends to go to mom and dad and ask for support, but they don't want to follow their advice because they know better. But the inner child needs that extra support. So what do you do when you feel that time is coming? So I'll give you an insight here. So you're very likely to feel like that during the new moon and the full moon period. This will be a great trigger in your life. So 3 days before, 3 days after. So it's like the whole week, right? The whole week of the full moon, the whole week of the new moon, right? It's like a dance where you need to find the balance. So when that time's coming, if you need to visit your family, visit them, but try not to share as much with them that they might not be able to give you an answer because they immediately feel responsible for your happiness and will do anything that a father or a mother or a grown-up sister will do, right? Which is guiding you, right? That's what they will do. So take care of yourself, take care of your inner child, ground yourself at all times.
You know, when the intuition gets paused, can it also impact the physical health of anybody?
Yes, of course. So I would love to talk about the environment and how that can affect the way we experience reality. For example, not many people know that having energy hygiene can transform your life. Not many people even know that that concept exists. What is that? Energy hygiene? What is it? Right? What? It's very much like when you go to the toilet, you use the toilet, you wash your hands, you dry your hands, right? You do a good job with that and you continue with your life. When you, as a light worker or as an entrepreneur, let's say you're a massage therapist, let's say you're a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or even a paramedic, right? Or someone who is an accountant and you're trying to open a firm. And then you get this client that comes with anxiety, with fear. They are going through a very difficult time. And you, as an accountant, have to deal with this person because they need to present their numbers, right, to the government, right? And you have to take care of that. So how do you do? First and foremost, you need to ground yourself. You need to understand that the environment where you are working from or living in, right, has a great impact in your physical, mental, and emotional health. So first and foremost, ground yourself. Get to do some exercises to um, practice energy hygiene during the full moon, the new moon, at all times. Every single day is important, but those periods are key for you. So prepare in advance, right? If you know the full moon is coming, and this seems to be a greater full moon, any eclipses, any kind of anniversaries, any birthdays for you, for your family, pay attention of that time because that time brings a lot of stress to people. So first and foremost, ground yourself. Make sure that you have a clean environment around you that helps with energy hygiene, right? Especially the corners of every home. Make sure that you bring some light, put some tea candles or at least a lamp that is there. Yes, it will consume electricity, but you will be super happy that you have invested on your mental, physical, and energy health. Because you see, energy attachments, right, that can come to your life because, let's say, you're going through a difficult time. Energy attachments, any kind of detrimental energies that are with your clients, in your clients, and that come to your space can also follow you to your home. So this is not to scare anybody, but if you have good energy hygiene habits, you don't allow for that heaviness to enter into your own sacred space. So what you do, you could get a crystal if you want, you can program this crystal, you can wash it, and you can activate this crystal in the best way possible. Or you could have like a statue of a symbolic religious figure close to you, or a picture, right? So it's got to be something that helps you to feel protected and grounded at all times. So having this around you will definitely help you. So the first is light, and then a crystal or a protective figure that you see and that you can relate to, whether that's because you're a religious person or someone that you admire, that you feel this person is grounded, is coherent, right? That his family life, his personal life, right, goes hand in hand with his soul calling, right? Like Einstein, for example, right? Understanding that intuition is our greatest connection to creation, not just a childish feeling that we need to suppress. I hope I have answered your question.
No, totally, totally, totally. This brings me to my next question. You talked about the second point, crystals. Now, the world of crystal in itself is enigmatic. There are so many crystals available out there. How do I identify which crystal resonates with me?
Okay, so first and foremost, I would say the day that you go to choose a crystal, if that's what you want to do, because they are very trendy, especially right now, right? I would say it depends on what you want to use them. But let's remember one thing. For clearing detrimental energies in a home, smoky quartz is excellent because it will absorb the energy. But then for clearing and transmuting energies and entities, detrimental energy in a home, you can place in the corners, a crystal called indigo gabbro. Indigo gabbro with double B for ball. Indigo gabbro. And so what it does is this beautiful crystal, this is a master tool to transform the energy. It transmutes the entities. It transmutes that energy. You can put them in corners because corners, from my perspective as a healer, are the ones that tend to gather a lot of stagnant energy where these kind of entities can, nest. So it's important to do that. Also, make sure that you clear any mold from your home. This has to be gone. It's not good for your physical, emotional, physical, or energy health. When choosing a crystal, it's important that you're grounded. Because if anybody has chosen, let's say you go to a shop where everybody is touching crystals, right? It is true that you can have a crystal and feel this immediate connection, that crystal, that conscious being of light in the crystal, that light itself is ready to help you transform in whatever way that is. You will feel connected to that. You will feel connected. But please do ground yourself first and foremost so that you could choose the best crystal that's ready there to help you to transform your life. Otherwise, you're going to be like a kid in a candy store, right? You'll be picking so many and then you wouldn't know which one to choose. So ground yourself. And then once you have the crystal that you want, it's important that you clean it, you clear it, you program and activate it.
Jail, I've also heard that crystals, if not picked up correctly, or not picked up in under the right guidance, they can also have negative impacts. So, can you shed some light on that?
Okay, so what could happen is that, as I said, the crystals, it's important to understand that they can do two things, right? A crystal is, let me see, I need to find the right words so that I can give you the best information. So some people, for example, will pick crystals because someone's told them that by placing a crystal close to a laptop, right, or your phone, can help transmute the EMF, the electromagnetic frequencies that this equipment is emanating. Indeed, this is 100% sure for sure, yeah. But if you don't clear it, if you're not activating, if you're not programming it, right, it already brings inside itself all the energy from previous owners or people that have touched it in the past. So clearing that crystal is essential because crystals, and I'm going to show you one that I have here, crystals tend to be very much like amplifiers of whatever they have already, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So if your crystal has already transmuted or transmuted, absorbed any kind of energy and does not have the strength to transmute that energy, it will only absorb to a certain extent, and then it will become a transmitter. It will start broadcasting the same energy that has absorbed. Yes. So what you could do is every month, every 2 months max, go again, just clean, recharge, reprogram, recalibrate, reactivate your crystal. Your life becomes a lot easier when you do this. It's not really, it's not enough to do it once a year. This is, it could definitely put you in a position, in a very vulnerable position, understanding what crystals are and how they work and transform your life for sure.
Understood. Wow, that's so much of information, to absorb at once. Uh, so recollecting my thoughts, help me understand the role of meditation when it
Yes.
comes to energy hygiene. We discussed about intuition and meditation, but what about energy hygiene and meditation?
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for this question because this question brings us back to the core of our session. Meditation, the most important purpose for meditation is to ground us, is to connect us to our soul calling, to our life purpose, right? And to give us that peace. That peace and that groundedness comes as a consequence of the intention that we have right now. So from my perspective, there are people that might say, okay, I want to meditate, but I don't know how. I want to meditate, but it's so difficult for me to meditate. I can't sit still. I am not able. So what can you do? Well, there are many ways that you could meditate and bring that energy into your heart and ground yourself. And one of the best ways that you could do that, and I'm going to be very honest about this because it's super important that we all become aware of what's happening now to the world. So, one of the best ways that you could do this is by practicing Qigong or Qigong,
Mm-hmm.
Tai Chi. If you're one of those people that finds it super difficult to sit down, right? That your nervous system is super active, that your mind does not stop, don't give up. Just do something that requires a little bit of controlled movement, guided movement, for you to discover that you're not just the body, but that you can also handle energy. We are all masters of light. This is something that is important for us to understand. We are ready for this change, right? So meditation is that tool that can help us ground ourselves so that then we can use our soul compass, right? So that then we can use this beautiful light inside ourselves and start to create, whether you're an accountant or a physician, whether you are someone that exercises at the gym and, a celebrity, whoever you are, grounding yourself, finding a way to connect with light does not have to look the same for you than what it looks to a monk or a nun. They have their community and they are sustained by that community. If you live in a city, do what that, do what you know it's important for you to do in the way that it is for you.
That help me understand. Intuition often helps us walk the right path and the path that is meant for us. Now, it's a little contradictory statement in my head that's going on. We have got a lot of individuals out there, humans, who take a path for which, as part of the majority of the society, is not correct. For example, we have a lot of individuals whom we call terrorists out there.
Mhm.
Now, don't these people have intuitions out there that's
Yes.
guiding them to be on the
Yes.
right path?
Yes.
Or it's the life path that has been, given, and it's their intuition guiding them on that path itself?
Yes. So the most important thing to understand here is that not everybody or not every soul will be doing the same thing, right? Our soul is guiding us to its own awakening, its own development. So our life basically becomes a tool for that magnificent being of light to rediscover itself. And some souls choose to perhaps do and go through certain experiences that might be very difficult for most people to understand, right? Very difficult. Drugs, prostitution, things like that, right? It could be very, very difficult for us to understand how a child could be brought up in such an environment and become, the people that they become. But what you could do really is to honor the choice that that soul, that individual is fulfilling without affecting you directly. And how do you do that? Grounding yourself. Holding compassion within yourself will help you and guide you throughout your life, all the days of your life, to understand that your path and, let's say, your color, right? Perhaps not everybody likes the color purple. Some like it fuchsia, some like it pink, some like it golden gray. So it's really important to understand that, yes, indeed, it can be sometimes heartbreaking to see all of these things, but by holding compassion will help create and bring the light that we need to bring more awareness into what really matters, which is the soul, the heart being grounded, sharing compassion. It's going to help us all. Yes.
Can you share two or three exercises that can, enable individuals out there to ground themselves? Grounding has been the core of all our discussion, whole of our discussion so far. So if you can share one or two exercises that we can use to ground ourselves.
Okay, I will use a master exercise. So for those people who are really good at meditating, you could connect with your heart and just follow your breath, right? Close your eyes, connect with your heart, follow your breath, and ground yourself from the heart. Follow the solar plexus, right? Gently follow that path till you get to your sacral and then your root chakra, your feet, emanate roots, and then anchor, physically anchor yourself to the center of the planet. And this is a very important tool because it's got to feel real. If it doesn't feel like solid, it's not there. So practicing, exercising constantly, consistency, right, is key for this, right? Now, for those people who might not be very interested in meditating, mostly because their jobs require them to be sitting all day in front of a computer, and that alters the way our brain and our nervous system performs. So one of the things that you could do is practice qigong or qigong or tai chi. This could be a great tool not only for grounding yourself, but for becoming aware of the energy that's within you, right? Yes, I would say always do something. If your body, if your mind is telling you they can't do something, follow that instead of pressuring, instead of pushing, right? I would suggest that.
Amazing. Amazing. See, again, Qigong is something that needs to be done under guidance, if I'm not wrong, because if I want to start doing Qigong today, I don't know the right movements.
Yes.
How can somebody get there? Are there any courses available online, or are there any masters people can start following and at least have that initial steps to this journey?
Yes. Okay. So one of the things that you could do is you could go on YouTube and then you could see if you resonate with any of the masters there. You will recognize that most of the masters, they don't have hair or they look a little bit old, and your energy, your heart energy will resonate with their energy. So there are no coincidences here. It will be a resonance effect that will happen, right? Let's say someone says, I'm not really sure about that. I have my own religion and I'm not sure about that. I don't want to investigate that. So what do? Practice some yoga. Yoga is not a religion. Yoga is a way to master your energy, to bring it down to your heart, to create awareness of your emotions, of your mind, right? So practice yoga. Again, choose a master, a teacher that you're resonating with, right? And practice it. If not, you can also go to a place where you feel the sun, right? The light on your face, and just contemplate that. You can also take a small candle in front of you and just look at the flame. You could practice contemplation and grounding yourself in that moment as well. So there are different ways to calm your nervous system and to, connect with your soul. Yes.
Just another follow-up question on this, Jael. I would like to understand how to meditate, because there are so many versions available outside. I was recently having a conversation with, one of my friends, and she was like that. You don't need to go for energy meditation and chakra meditation. You just need to be conscious of your thoughts. And if you are conscious of your thoughts, that's meditation. Now, there's so many versions out there. One, which one to align with, two, and how to practice it for a normal, a newbie out there. How can that person really explore or navigate this path of meditation?
Okay, so the first thing that I would recommend is to, first and foremost, when you're asking a question, don't compare your results to people that have been perhaps mastering meditation for decades. This is a very cultural thing. For example, someone who lives in Illinois in the USA and is just discovering this world, um, it's very unlikely that that person will be able to meditate in the same way that someone who lives in India or a monk, a Buddhist monk that's been doing this for 40 years. So when you meditate, the best way to do is just to calm yourself down through following your breathing path. Just close your eyes. Now, one of the things that I've noticed, and this is, I want to put my intuitive seasoning here. Some people sometimes can't meditate or don't know that you're already meditating due to, as you said at the beginning of the session, the loudness, the noise that we have around, whether that is a physical noise or is actually our thoughts. Perhaps a movie that we watched the night before that was very violent, and the brain is just basically not able to process that because to the brain, everything is real. Everything actually just happened. So this is one of the reasons why it's important to have really good energy hygiene and practice it often, especially if you're doing something that's helping people, right? So try to be very selective at what you're watching, what you're singing, who you're going out with, what kind of conversations are you practicing, right? And so, because that's creating your own cocoon, your own energy environment. Imagine a Buddhist monk, right? They need to have exceptionally good energy hygiene practices and habits, right? So try to make your own home, your own space as clean as possible. So try to watch only things that actually make you feel happy and ground you. Happy to be alive, happy to be a human. If you're watching constantly things that leave you with a feeling that humans are the worst, like the worst thing that happened to this planet, like so of course, you're not going to move on with your meditation practice because you're not safe. You don't feel safe. You're not safe with you, right? So what you could do then is put your feet in warm water and take a handful of Himalayan salt or sea salt. I would definitely recommend any of the two. But if you don't have that, try to use any salt that you have. But I would definitely recommend any of the two. Put your feet there and just imagine that you have a shower of light that comes from your crown, right? A shower of light, and just breathe and allow for that light to wash over anything that you no longer need. You'll see, you'll see. And there are certain meditations. For example, there's a really good one that's from Master Ko from Pranic Healing. So that's his name is Master Ko, Stephen Ko from Pranic Healing. And he has a really good meditation that is in preparation for Wesak. Wesak is the celebration that we have for the birth of the Buddha. So, in preparation for this beautiful celebration, he's made a specific meditation that is all about energy hygiene, right? So if you follow that one, if you YouTube that one, you will find it soon enough, right? And you put your feet in warm water, you put the salt, you can add also from 2 to 6 drops of lavender essential oil, and you'll see. Perhaps practice that meditation at least 3 times, and you will notice a remarkable effect. You will feel super clear, super clean in your energy. That's when you will realize, perhaps even for the first time, that actually it's not visible, but energy is something that you can tell because you'll have a sense of freedom in your shoulders, in your head, right? In your eyes, right? So meditation can take different forms. If you find yourself that you struggle with this, perhaps having this shower of light, right? Putting your feet in water, because what water does is it will catch any energy that is disturbing your balance, right? The salt will trap it in it, and then the lavender oil cleanses, purifies your energy. Yes.
Wow. Wow. I'm definitely going to try that. Meditation, we have been discussing a lot. And something that I've observed, meditation has found inroads in the leadership, uh, you know, community out there, people who are leaders out, be it of an
Yes.
organization, of a country, or any form of community that they're leading or group that they're leading. Now, help me understand how having energy hygiene, being intuitive, and being meditative help you be a good leader.
Okay. So first and foremost, energy hygiene is exceptional. If you're breathing, energy hygiene is just like the same when you go to the toilet, you use the toilet, and it's exceptionally important that you use soap, you wash yourself, right? You clean yourself, you dry yourself. You leave that place clean and ready for the next person that's going to use it, right? Okay. So when we are not aware of the energy that we are surrounding ourselves with. For example, in my home, every single piece of furniture has a meaning, has a purpose. Every single picture is a catalyzer of energy. I don't have anything in my home that makes me sad or makes me feel like, oh my God, this is so much pressure. I have to keep this, and I really don't like it, but I need to show it off because if the person that gave it to me comes and doesn't find it here, it will feel upset. Sometimes when I go to my client's home, I will find many equipment, many pictures, many gifts that they've been given by people they don't like and gifts that they don't like, yet they are, in exhibition. So creating a contrast of energy. So balance your home first. Feel safe. Go back to the very center of this session. Ground yourself at home because that's the place where you're going to be sleeping. That's the place where you're the most vulnerable. That's the place where you go to the toilet often. That's the place where you have a shower. So that's the place where you are the most vulnerable. So make sure that there's no mold. Make sure that in every corner, especially in the living room, in your bedroom, you have some light, right? Instead of just having like a central light, make sure that you balance the light and you bring awareness, you bring the light to every corner. So stagnant energy can be removed, right? So another thing that I would say, it's important to create awareness of what you bring home. You could program crystals close to you so that when you go to sleep, right, the crystal absorbs any kind of energy or entity that might not, you know, be there for the best, with best intentions for you, right? But please always remember to clean your crystals. Always remember to bring awareness into your life and see and be grateful for all the equipment that you have with you. So the first thing I would say, make sure that you're at ease, at home in your home, right? That you feel safe. That would be the first thing. And then the second thing, as a leader, understand that people will see us as catalyzers. People, when they want to buy your services, they basically look at you and they say, I want some of that. They don't care how, they don't really know much about the process, but they really want that you have. And they, in that moment, think they don't have. So, as leaders, it's important that we're there to serve, but that we don't absorb their problems. So, having energy hygiene is exceptionally important here so that you don't start to mimic their symptoms, right? So, when something like that happens, immediately have a shower, wash your hair really well, wash your armpits, right? And wash every part of your body. Use a brush, right? Use a brush, right? And try to use as many essential oils as you can, right? Make sure that you have something that's natural rather than, let's say, a shampoo that smells delicious but is causing a lot of problems to your energy systems, right? To your nervous system, to your digestive system. You don't even know that, right? But it smells delicious, but it's causing a lot of trouble, perhaps not just to you, but also to your family. So try to get some more natural products. The same goes for perfume. We get to put perfume always here because that's where people most times will kiss us here, right? When we hug, right? And so it smells really good. But this is where the thyroid is. So no perfumes here, right? If anything, try to put some essential oils. That's a more natural way and it will last a lot longer because with perfumes, they tend to be so cheap, full of toxins, and they don't last, and so you have to reapply constantly. That means you get to redisturb your energy systems more often. So be very conscious about all of these things. When you're with your clients, have a practice and make them understand and see that when you finish that session, whether you're an accountant, an interior designer, an architect, a doctor, a celebrity, right? Or a coach, let's say, right? Make sure that they understand that when the session is over, you disconnect from them. So imagine that you cut any energy cords that you have established between you and that person and say, your energy goes with you, and push that energy outside of you. And my energy comes to me. So you go back with your energy, and my energy comes back to me, right? So that way it's very clear to that person that there are boundaries, that they shouldn't call you, that they shouldn't bring any drama into your life as well, right? So that they understand that you get to clean your space, that you get to be the person that they liked in the first place. Okay, so that's really, really important as leaders. People, that's what they want. They want what they see is shining, but it's important to recognize that you also should always be taking good care of yourself. Take care of your home, ground yourself, get some tools like crystals, essential oils to help you. Why essential oils? Because those are a lot better than any kind of artificial perfume that will bring a lot of um, illnesses into your environment.
I totally agree on the essential oils front. Though I've been introduced to essential oils for a very long time being in this space, I tried using them for probably over a month now, and I've seen a lot of differences. I often use rose essential oil at times. I just drop a drop of it on my coat or on my shirt, which I'm wearing. And to my surprise, it even stays beyond 2, 3 days. Not
Yes.
just a single day, it stays beyond 2, 3 days. So whenever I'm washing my clothes, I realize that okay, it still has that fragrance. And my mood, my overall behavior is very different. For instance, the very first time I applied that rose essential oil and went to a meeting,
Yes.
the BNI meeting, usually I am, yawning throughout the meeting because it's early morning.
Yes.
I have to wake up at 4 in the morning and then drive for an hour or so, reach the place, venue, and then it's a 2.5 hour long, affair that happens out there, and I'm yawning. But for the first time, when I applied Rose Essential Oil and went, I was all energetic. I didn't even yawn once in that meeting. And from that day onwards, I've made it a habit whenever I'm going out for meetings, I do apply that a single drop of Rose Essential Oil. And I've
Right.
recently, bought Orange Essential Oil as well. So
Yeah.
somebody told me that my sacral chakra is weak and I need to work on it. So I got the orange essential oil roll on, and whenever I recall, I just rub it, and I am seeing the difference coming in.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations, Pulkit, because this is really important for us. You see, essential oils can cleanse our energy bodies, our mental, emotional bodies, right? Our spiritual bodies, our aura, bringing that clarity, bringing that awareness, that assertiveness that you found at your meeting, right? That you were no longer um, yawning, but also perhaps even more clear, more present, right? So yes, this is really, really good. Thank you. Congratulations for doing that.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Um, Jen, help me understand the impact you mentioned about aura right now, and that was my next portion. Actually, I was coming on to that only. For me, energy vibes are something that often, help me decide with whom to work or whom to talk, not to talk to.
Yes.
So how can I really keep my aura positive? How can I keep cleansing my aura out there so that I'm always vibing a positive aura?
Okay. So one of the best things that you could do, once again, ground yourself. And then once you've got your root, once you're grounded, then from there you can build on, and then you can bring beautiful essential oils as well to cleanse your aura. Let's say that there's something that's happening in the world. We're crossing a new moon, a full moon, a solar eclipse. I don't know, perhaps we're transitioning. There's something that's happening, right? An equinox, important dates. And then on top of that, you have family arguing, or you were just present when something just happened to your client, right? And there's that emotion, right? So, how do you cleanse your space? How do you cleanse your aura? So, one of the first things that I would suggest is yes, indeed, rose essential oil is there for times of grieving, is there to open your heart. You want more clients, definitely exercise your heart chakra being beautifully opened with a very soft, gentle rose, pastel rose color. So this is not a baby pink color. This is a little bit stronger than that, but it's not fuchsia and it's definitely not red. So it's a mixture of a pastel rose that's a little bit stronger in color, right? And so open it up. right? And apply rose essential oil all around your aura. You don't have to use a lot. You can just use like 3 drops here. You do this, and then you just apply it all around you, right? It will definitely cleanse your aura. Let's say that at home, there's been like people are constantly recycling arguments. So one of the best things that you could do is get a an essential oil diffuser, right? And add some neroli essential oil in it, and leave it on before family gatherings, leave it on during the day. You'll see neroli is one of the essential oils that has the highest frequency. It emanates a very strong, very consistent aura of colors that it's very kind of solid. You can take pictures about it. There are many studies about this actually. And so what it does is it brings people to a safe space. Neroli smells very much like baby perfume. Yes. And so what it does is it calms down the inner child. So people that are going through a lot of arguments that have been recycled over and over, and you say, but we already discussed this, and didn't we decide that? Like, so bring that clarity using essential oils, right? Leave it in the bedroom, but only during the morning. Never leave any kind of water elements during the evening, especially not at night. Remove them from the bedroom because that's the place where you rest, right? So no water element. The water element will activate the mind. So it's better to remove it from there. And so in the living room, in your office, for example, if you work as an accountant, if you work as a lawyer, as a judge, I'm sure you have a lot of inner children that come, telling you, I need, fix me, fix me. If you're a doctor, people basically see you as a god. People, give you all this tremendous responsibility over your shoulders. So get neroli essential oil, especially if you're a coach as well, right? So get neroli essential oil and make sure that you apply it also in your aura. Other essential oils that you could do are anything that's to do with sweetness, anything to do with vanilla, right?
Mhm.
Anything that's to do with ylang ylang, sandalwood, myrrh, right? Frankincense, ancient oils will help clear and cleanse the energy of a home. People sometimes say, well, I my home has mold, my home does not feel comfortable. Get into the habit of cleansing your home with lavender essential oil. It will definitely help you. So for prosperity, cleanse the doors, right? The door where the prosperity is entering. So that would be your front door. There are many exercises that people can practice to amplify their energy and catalyze their soul, their life purpose in this lifetime as well.
Wow. Wow. I can find a lot of references to what you just mentioned in our ancient scriptures or the way humans used to live centuries before. With modernization and urbanization, a lot of these things have just lost their way, have somewhere or the other, humans have forgotten about it. And now it's a very saturated and restricted community of people who are actually practicing it and, leveraging its benefit. What are your thoughts on it?
I think that this is the right time for us to be here. I think if you have compassion in your heart, there's nothing that cannot be transformed through love. And that is our tool. Light and love, joy. It's something that we've seen, even the people that have um, gone through a lot of tribulation in life. For example, we'll see a very good example is Mandela, right? And like him, we'll have many people that perhaps were they went through a lot of um, unjust situations, and they came out of those with an open heart, understanding that the people that hurt them, basically, in essence, were not able to do any better, right? So instead of creating a group that is them with their lives and us, we're completely separated, we could come to an understanding that in my soul, in my heart, I am one. And if I am one with all, I do have a say in what goes on in my mind, my body. I have sovereignty over my space, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
So that gives you the key that if we are not separated, if we are all connected, then I am a catalyzer. So anything that comes my way will take, in essence, some of my light. And because it's active, intentional, and conscious, it will transmute them. So that's every day when I wake up, I open myself to the light so I can attract the best energy for me. You see, so setting up an intention can also help us ground as well.
Well, can affirmations have an impact on intentions?
Yes, definitely. The best affirmations are ones that declare your freedom, right? The best affirmations are the ones that declare your compassion, your light that expand you, right? So make sure that your affirmations are always in positive, right? Instead of saying, I'm cleansing my house or I'm letting go of this thing so I don't go through lack or so I don't meet people like that anymore. Instead of saying that, you could say, my affirmation is to attract the most beautiful, the most gentle, financially prosperous experience, right? I'm open, I'm feeling safe. This is my life, this is my choice. I'm exercising this and having compassion every single day, trying every single day, finding that you're a god or a goddess of light and igniting this light inside of you. It's the best choice that we could make at this point.
Any real life experiences that you like to share of yours or of your clients, which can help our listeners further strengthen their belief in the power of intuition?
Okay, so for example, let me just choose one of the many. Yes. Okay, I'll give you some. So there were times because I am an empath. I am a neurodivergent person. So that means I am a highly sensitive person. I do also I process data and information in a very, very different way. So in a nutshell, this is more or less what I can share, right? So sometimes for me, it's easier to stay at home, right? I am an introverted person and I love being outside, but only for a certain amount of time and only with certain people, etc. And there have been times when I thought, okay, I've been out in the morning, I went to this networking event, I don't want to go to, other networking events, even though I had already made a commitment and I already, said, okay, I'm going to be there. And sometimes I said, no, 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 I really don't want to go. But I thought to myself, I've been opening my heart, I've been asking, to align with the best possible energy of prosperity, kindness, and love. So the least I could do is show up, and allow for energy if it's meant to be to get in contact with me. And I could tell you every single time that I have chosen to trust my intuition, it has given me the most amazing, amazing experiences, right? There have been many times when I have ignored that, whether that was because I was really exhausted or I had no energy or I was just scared, right? And I could see that, in fact, we all feel when we are closing ourselves and not following our intuition, we feel something inside. But it's connecting with that feeling and honoring with compassion. Okay, I'm choosing to do this now. That can help us the next time as well to embrace our light. So a real example will be that I have recently met a lot of wonderful people whom I have thought in the past were not intuitive, were not highly sensitive or empaths, that they would probably not understand what I do, just to go to these networking events and find out that most people are following their intuition, especially when they are entrepreneurs, right? Most people are thirsty for this kind of information. So I would say that is a good example.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Um, I have been really looking forward to experiencing the different meditation techniques that you mentioned and the light shower that you specifically mentioned. Do you organize workshops or sessions where people can reach out to you and experience them under your guidance?
Yes, of course. I do this quite often, and I'm planning to do at least once every 6 weeks. And we have different topics, but mostly it will be energy hygiene. This is the year where we get to practice all of this. The next year is going to be a year full of contrast. It's going to be a year full of the element of fire, and the element of fire is quite intuitive, is quite spiritual, right? Fire symbolizes light, and when you see pictures of religious people, right, or people who have transformed the world, you'll see that they normally have this golden glow around them. That's the fire, their conscious soul intuition around them, right? And so the next year is proposing that kind of energy, right? Because we are ending many cycles this year. So what I do is I love to prepare people to embrace change and get all their energy bodies in line, as well as their energy systems, right? To embrace change, to create, to provoke the change that they want, and also be ready in freedom to embrace that change, to co-create with the universe, because the universe and the spirit guides around you are super ready to help and assist you. They are there for you so that you could be ready to receive and co-create with them what you want, right? So I would say, yes, I do this almost every single month, right? And my courses sometimes go from 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the course. Sometimes we have 3 days in a row. Sometimes we go like one day a week for 2 weeks, right? Or 3 weeks. And we speak a lot about, we talk a lot about energy hygiene and expansion, how to enhance your intuition, for example, right? How to use this magnificent master tool to benefit yourself. For example, people who invest in the stock market, right? This is essential for you. These are people who have been using and mastering their intuition for a long time as well, right? Because that requires a great level of assertiveness, right? So yes, I do this for almost every profession. People are invited to come. My website is www.jaelortiga.com, where people can find more information. But of course, I can also pass information on to you so that you could also pass it on to your people in case they are interested.
Surely, surely. So, all the listeners, we will be putting Jail's website in the description below so you can reach out to her. And Jail, this has been an enlightening conversation with you. Really loved every aspect and every second of it. Any final message that you like to give to our listeners?
Yes. So I would say you are light. You are the light that was created to co create, to expand with light, with joy. Remember to ground yourself at all times. That would be the most important thing, because for as long as you're grounded, you belong. You're part of a community. If you're too much in your head, you become very vulnerable to your thoughts and to the environment around. Watch what you are spending time online with, right? If you're watching any movies that are not, to your best benefit, right? Just try to minimize the consumption of social media that also can alter the way you process information, and try to have a, yeah, a lifestyle that empowers you. What are you eating? Is that you're eating giving you power, giving you energy, making you feel good, right? So transforming and embracing our light is all about bringing certain parts of ourselves that we didn't know they matter. So take care of your diet so that you could be also present in your body, and grounding becomes easier for you. So that would be my message.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Jail. Really, really appreciate you being on this episode.
Thank you very much, Bouquet.
And to all our listeners, do listen to your intuition, Now, don't ignore it for logic. And if you have ever ignored it, or are struggling with it, please feel free to message us or leave a comment. We will be more than happy to put you in touch with Jail out there who can help you navigate it through. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, unsure, or just need a space to express what's weighing you down, remember that you can anonymously share your worries, stress triggers, or intuitive experiences on our anonymous mental health platform. The link is in the episode description. Stay curious, stay open, and most importantly, keep listening to that inner voice. Until next time, take care.